Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about the movie Passenger. This one came out during the month of May, and it's a horror movie. It's interesting, but it just kind of got buried beneath the other horror. Obviously, Obsession and Backrooms have just taken up everyone's attention. Passenger kind of got put on the back burner for a lot of horror fans' minds. I ended up having a chance to go and see it, and Backrooms and Obsession because I'm just that guy that goes to the theater that much. But Passenger was interesting. It's a fun little horror movie. It wasn't one that I would have high expectations going into it. Basically, there's this couple, Maddie and Tyler. Um, they're basically selling their house and they bought this van. They're gonna live on the road because Tyler, he can do work on the road remote, and so they're just gonna travel. So that's their storyline for this movie, where that's how sort of they begin. Is just this life of traveling. So the first interesting thing about Passenger is I didn't keep up with every single trailer, but all the trailers I saw, you see these two people. They have to stop because guy has to use the bathroom, and then you see this guy on the side of the road several points as he's driving away. That teaser, that is pretty much the opening of the movie. So for me, the plot and the rest of the characters and the lore and the backstory behind everything, that was all absent from the trailer. So if you want to be surprised by what the story really is and how um, the lore behind this thing works, you have all that saved for a surprise for the movie because, like I said, the trailer is literally the opening scene. So I like it when that happens. So it was kind of left to be pleasantly surprised by the plot not being revealed in the trailer because that just happens sometimes. So as this couple is driving through, just driving cross country pretty much, they see this car on the side of the road and it has this particular mark on it. They don't really think much of it. They check to see if someone's there. They call the police. Police shows up, so they drive off. And they go to this van meet. And Maddie, now she's seeing that symbol as like this on this poster for a warning. If just avoid this. So anyway, they end up stopping at a gas station, and she buys this book that shows signs for the road. What to look out for, what's a warning, what's not, and she's reading all these things about it. And really, she learns that there's this guy that if you stop for a crashed vehicle that is marked, you are now marked. That's essentially how the lore works. So there's really not complicated. It's kind of easy to digest, easy to sort of buy into this storyline that's happening. So that's the plot, and toward the finale, there's a showdown. So a lot of the in-between stuff, I thought the lighting was interesting. There's a scene where they're stopped, and there's a few different times where the vehicle stopped, and Maddie is seeing this passenger, and Tyler is not. And so she's seeing him, and there's multiple, or I would say at least a couple different shots where, as a car's hazards lights are on, it's the blinking red. Blinks red, you see the passenger, then it turns off, you don't see him. It turns back on, he's gone. Turns off, turns back on, you see him. So I think the lighting choice in this movie was very interesting. There's also another sequence where this couple there they stop to watch a movie with this projector screen up and everything, and they can feel like the passengers nearby. They hear the rustling and all that. They can hear and see the signs that he's approaching. And so as they pick up the camera that's showing this movie on the projector, as the camera's moving around, they're watching a movie. So through the trees and through the brush, you see the shape of people from the movie, but then you see like the demented face from the passenger on the face of one of the characters, and they don't know. And then he walks away. It's not a character; it's actually the passenger. So I think lighting and the appearances of the passenger, plus his design, just generally speaking, was creepy enough. So I think as far as the style and the appearance of everything in this movie goes, I thought it was pretty solid. It's not really a long movie, and like I said, the storyline's pretty easy to digest. It's something basic, something simple, and of course, like I said, we get toward the showdown toward the end where it's got to be on holy ground where they can try to kill him. And so, of course, they make it to holy ground, and then, of course, Maddie ends up facing off against this thing and wins in the end. So it's it's kind of wrapped up in this nice little bow where there's this threat on the road, they defeated this threat on the road, now they continue on. So I really don't see this being a franchise thing. I don't see them doing a sequel, especially since it just seems to be sort of lost in the mix of other horror movies recently. But you know what? We'll see what happens. Sometimes movies have a poor theatrical run, and then on streaming they become a hit. So maybe there could be more interest in Passenger later on, which could maybe have potential for an interest in a sequel. I don't know. This movie isn't one that I would recommend rushing to go see, but if you have a slight interest in it and you have the time to check it out, just I would keep basic expectations, but I think you'd have fun with it. It's a fun, simple movie. It's horror, you know. I've always loved horror movies. It fits the bill, so you know, it was just another horror movie, but it was interesting. It's got some interesting enough stuff in there that kept me entertained. I wasn't bored with this movie. I'll put it that way. It wasn't boring by any means. There are predictable moments for sure, but it was entertaining nonetheless, which I think makes it a better experience. If even despite being able to see what's coming or predict what could happen, if you're still having fun with it, then that's worth it. So I say this movie was. Check it out if you want. If not, I don't think you're missing all that much, but see for yourself. All right, thanks for watching my review of it.